Let me ask you a question. What do you think is worse for you? Eating French fries or smoking cigarettes? According to Dr. Kate Shanahan, eating French fries. It's true, hard to believe. Okay, but maybe you saw this study this week come out, right? A salty twist diabetes risk study says French fries are a culprit, and it goes on to talk about the chronic disease, but an increase of diabetes 20% just by eating them 3 days a week. So maybe Dr. Kate's right. Maybe it is worse. Okay, but the fact is why? Because this particular study, and by the way, that study was in the British Journal of Medicine, and what they said was if they ate broiled, baked, or mashed potatoes, there was no risk at all. So what's the difference between those potatoes and French fries? It's simple. They're dunked in the fryer. Yeah, what is in the fryer? Of course, typically canola oil, vegetable oils, or some rancid seed oils. See, look, the fact is all of those oils are denatured. In the scientific literature, they call them adulterated. But here's what's happening. They come into the body and they just don't go away. I used to say those oils, they work their way into your cells, and you'll understand why it's leading to diabetes and other hormone problems. This was just what they studied. But thyroid people, listen up. Hormone people, if you think you don't have energy, brain fog, anxiety, because it's your hormones, you can't lose weight, listen up. This is important. Okay, the fact is, I used to say that these fats would go into our cells, causing all those problems that I just mentioned, but it would stay for 4 months. Not hours, not days. Sugar, come on, you're screwing yourself up for a few hours, right? All right, maybe even beyond that. But these, I would say, 4 months of cellular dysfunction. You know what more recent studies showed? Half-life is almost 2 years. That means it's lasting far beyond 2 years. What I'm saying is these fats, when you eat the French fry, there's an accumulation of these oils in your cells. They're lasting, but they're driving cellular inflammation. Now listen, you have heard inflammation is the cause of diabetes. Inflammation is the cause of all kinds of different problems in the body, from dementia, Parkinson's, heart disease, strokes, everything that we're battling, even cancer. Okay, so what do they mean when they're saying inflammation? They're talking about cellular inflammation. I know your shoulder being sore, that is inflammation, but I'm talking about what's happening of your cells. Now, let me link it to why this study is showing diabetes, because these fats come into your cells and they stay there. Why? Because omega-6 fat is so important in that cell membrane. And by the way, all those fried oils that they're doing in the fryer, they're high in omega-6 fats, but they're rancid. They're bad. So they go into the cells, they're broken. So they create a broken cell. But guess what is on the cell membrane where those fats go? And by the way, your cell membranes are made of fat. I'm not going to dive into the biochemistry, but understand, if your cell membranes are made of fat and these broken fats go in there, they create a broken membrane. Why does that cause so many hormone problems and problems with our energy and how our brain works? Why? Because this inflamed cell, your hormone receptors are right there. For you to feel normal, good, have energy, a brain that works, have good bowel movements, everything you could possibly think of, your hormones have to attach to those receptors that are on that cell membrane, get in the cell, and you feel well, simply put. But those bad fats damage those hormone receptors. Those bad fats cause inflammation of that membrane and block and smother, literally, our hormone receptors. You know what else they do? They stop the good nutrition that you're trying to eat and all the supplements you're spending a lot of money on from getting in that cell, and it can't go through this massively inflamed membrane. It's closed door syndrome. That's what I like to call it. But it's why people don't feel well. It's why diets aren't working. It's why supplements aren't working. So everyone's best efforts fall short because you could be choosing the French fries. Listen, it's not just in French fries. If you go into many health food stores, these rancid, adulterated, damaged seed oils are in everything. I'm not against seed oils, be clear. If a seed oil is cold pressed in a beautiful bottle that's amber color and you smell it and it smells like sesame seeds, all is well. It could be a good fat, because I've created many membrane products that have good, unadulterated, unbroken, good omega-6 fats in. So I'm not against omega-6 in our space. Many people hate omega-6. No, omega-3 and omega-6 are considered parent fats, parent oils, meaning we need them. From all of these fats, they're essential. We can't live without them. So we need omega-6, and it's so important in the cell membrane. That's why these rancid, damaged omega-6 are so damaging and dangerous, because we need them in the cell membrane. Our hormones and our cell membranes won't function without them. So we need the good ones. So eat seeds. I love seed oils. I don't like it in processed foods. Yes, it could be done correctly, pressed correctly, but that's not what you're getting when you see a seed oil in a potato chip, even an organic one. If you go into Whole Foods and you see seed oils or canola oil, vegetable oil, they're all rancid oils. So the point is, if it's in a processed food, it's bad. It's damaging, causing cellular damage, disrupting hormones, how our brain works, how we process energy. And yes, it can even cause weight loss resistance. And the world is eating seed oils, going to Whole Foods, going to health food stores, spending good money on organic, which is good. You should do that. But they're not privy to the fact that these oils are absolutely staying in their body for not days, not months, but years, according to some of the new studies. So we need to avoid these things like the plague. Listen, this is something you could do right now for your family. All you have to do is read ingredients and just choose not to have seed oils. Simple as that, especially vegetable, canola oil, corn oil, and soy oil. I will put those at the top of the bad chain, no doubt about it. Those things are poison. Many of them are genetically modified. Horrible. But it's driving cellular damage, cell inflammation. It's affecting your hormones. Understand. This is why studies like this are more and more studies showing the damaging effects of these oils. I'm not telling you to smoke, but I'm telling you that the French fries could be worse. Okay, I know you're saying, what do I do? Okay, let me tell you what happened. My favorite Italian restaurant, right? They're frying things in the bad oil. I say, why don't you use beef tallow? A lot of restaurants are doing this. Okay, this is like what our grandparents used to do, right? Fried in, and yes, it's healthy. It takes heat. Here's why. I'm going to give you a quick lesson on oils. Beef tallow, they're saturated fats. Don't they cause heart disease? Okay, you have to throw that knowledge out right now. That is old school knowledge. That's from back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s, and it will continue on forever. That saturated fats are bad, and so is cholesterol. I'm here to tell you, those are the two most important fats. Actually, they stabilize our cell membrane. You know those hormone receptors that I told you? They actually ride on something called a lipid raft. That means a raft made of fat. Guess what two oils or fats play the most important role? Saturated fat and cholesterol. They're important. Matter of fact, your brain arguably is two most important fats for your brain, I would argue, are saturated fat and cholesterol. And one of the things when I was teaching many doctors, I would say we have these autistic children. One of the first fats that we utilize to stabilize their brain and their cells and their cell membranes are the saturated fats. You know, things like tallow, ghee, saturated, no double bonds. Now we move to a monosaccharide. Olive oil, more stable, takes heat better than vegetable oil, as I just pointed out. Seed oils are typically 2 to 3 double bonds. So you can see they're more fragile. That's why we have to be very protective of them. Guess what's worse? Fish oil. Okay, controversy. I know. My doctor told me to take fish oil, and everyone says fish oil is good for your heart and inflammation. They have 5 and 6 double bonds. I love fish oil in fish, just like I love seed oil in seeds. But outside of fish, they go rancid. Matter of fact, they go rancid even in your body if the company maintains this perfect oil, as they might claim. But in your body, it is shown to actually go rancid. Listen, this isn't my opinion. The Cochrane collaboration, who looked at heart disease, cancer, many different conditions, and what Cochrane does is they gather thousands of studies. They look at which ones they feel are the best scientifically. And then they look at all of those studies that they feel are the best, and they come up with a conclusion, the Cochrane conclusion, that good, bad, whatever, here's our conclusion. With fish oil, every time it's bad. Okay, so this isn't my opinion. I know it's great controversy, but these oils are fragile. We want to start cooking in real butter, ghee, the saturated fats, the tallows, especially in the big heat, even though it's more stable. And absolutely never do you want to put seed oils under heat. There's the rules. Coconut oil, you're going to ask, yes, saturated fats, more stable, absolutely. But frying, stick with the tallow. Avocado oil, more stable, but it's hard today to find good avocado oil. They're starting to cut it. But yes, it is, in fact, more stable under heat. So you don't want to fry things in olive oil. It's not going to handle the heat, and definitely not the seed oils and the vegetable oil. Think twice. Whatever oil you're choosing, think about the stability of the oils, because that's going to end up in your cells, not for days, not for months, for years. Choose the better oils. My wife and I go out to eat. We embarrass the kids, the family, the friends, because we are known to say that we are allergic to seed oils. Okay. The only reason we say that is because you get people's attention. So typically you say the ones that they use in restaurants: vegetable oil, canola oil. Those are the big ones. And in soy oil and corn oil, I would argue you could add to that. We're allergic. Here's why you're allergic. Because every sign goes up. They go into the back and they have all the alarms, because if you just say, I don't want them, almost every sauce has them, right? But when you say you're allergic, they go, oh, well, you can't have this sauce. Okay, great. Can I have just pure olive oil? Okay, yeah, great. Or just leave the sauce on the side. I have done this for years. I'm telling you, it's easy today. They will make exceptions. Can I have that just cooked in real butter? Oh, absolutely. And now restaurants are actually going, there's a seed oil free restaurant app, right? Where you can find all the restaurants that go seed oil free. But what we have found is that most restaurants, if not all, absolutely will accommodate you. And there's ways to accommodate. Simple butter and simple olive oil. That's the way to go. Some people actually bring their own olive oil, right? You can add it to salad, because I would argue most salad dressings are absolutely tainted with blended oils, as we call them. Listen, it's worth the embarrassment. So here's the end of that story. The people, our kids, our friends, that would be like a little embarrassed because we, jump through all the hoops with the waiter or the waitress. Well, guess what? They're on board now. They're doing the same thing. It's worth your health. A little bit of embarrassment, it's worth your health. This stuff stays in your cells for years. Make yourself allergic. Simple as that.